coming to you again with a new episode of TDA TV. Today I'm here with Leo Martinez from Freer Farm and Ranch. Leo, good to have you today.
Good to see you, Patrick.
Yep. Leo, tell us a little bit about Freer Farm and Ranch.
Well, we're in Freer. We took over the store July the 15th, middle of July, right in the middle of summer. And we're full service feed store, kind of an old school feed store. We carry everything you would need on a ranch, feed, supplies, just pretty much everything that you would need.
You're blowing and going in here. We've been here just a few hours, and there's lots of customers, lots of trucks pulling in and out. Everything seems to be moving along.
We're busy. It's a busy time of year too. I mean, hunting season's next weekend, right around the corner. So we get a lot of people coming in and out, but we do get all day long. We're just busy all day long. Yes.
Look, everybody always wants to know, who's the feed supplier for Freer Farm and Ranch?
We sell Record Rack, Nutrina and Record Rack. That's our supplier. We don't sell any others. So we're really tied in. We believe in it. So that's what we use. That's what we sell.
You know, you kind of made your name as G4 Ranch Straight Line Whitetails. Tell us why the feed business?
It was pretty much by accident. We used to get our feed here. We would do all our business here, and I just happened to be in here one day and talking to Susie, and just said, hey, if you ever decide to retire, leave, whatever one day, just let me know. We'll see what happens. Because I always thought it would be a just cool business to be in. Thought it was fun. Of course, it's a lot of work. But anyway, one day I was driving down the road and got a phone call from her, and she said, okay, I'm ready. And I'd forgot. I just said, ready for what? And she said, I'm ready to retire. So we started the process, started working on it, and got everything figured out. And that's how it kind of came about.
Well, I've talked to you over the last couple of weeks trying to find a date, and it always seems like you're on the road. Talk to me a little bit about the windshield time, and then talk to us a little bit too. Just being in the deer business, you're very well known for customer service with your deer. I'm assuming that is a big part of the feed business as well.
Huge part of it, and we really, really, really strive on the customer service. We work real hard on that, and I feel like being in the deer business kind of helps because I know what I expect. I know what I expected from my feed store. I know what I expected from my feed. So I kind of put that same into now on the other side. So I get it. If a customer needs something, we work real hard to take care of it. We try to make sure we have the fresh feed. The windshield time, I make ranch visits. I'm out there. I meet feed trucks. I deliver feed myself. I fill feeders myself because I want to know what's going on. I want to know when they call them with a concern. Okay, I've been there. I know the ranch. I know what they're doing, what they're talking about. So yeah, we work real hard on customer service. That's our big thing.
Talk to us a little bit about your customer base. Many people probably don't know, or they may be inquiring while watching the show. Where are your customers, and how far will you go to deliver feed?
We're all over. I've got customers from Hebronville, which is south of us, all the way to Corsicana. The Refuge, Athens, Carrizo Springs, Pearsall. So we go everywhere. If I get a customer that calls, wants to talk feed, I'll drive. We sit down, we see what they need, what they're looking for, try to build a plan on what they're doing. And a lot of them are already in place. They're breeders. And so we just kind of want to get to know them and what their needs are. And then we go from there. But yeah, we're all over the state. We can deliver anywhere in the state of Texas.
Len, we've heard a lot about that, about his customer service, about Leo's attention to detail and customer service. Talk to us a little bit about that full service experience that you get here.
Well, I've been with lots of different feed companies over the years. I've been doing this 19 years. I'll start my 19th year. Leo's the only one that I've ever dealt with that he literally delivers the feed to my house. I don't have to come down here. I'm 45 minutes from him, but he delivers to all kinds of people, just loads it on the trucks and trailers. And the customer service is unreal. If you have a problem with feed, you call him, it's taken care of immediately. And I haven't really had any problems. But the feed is remarkable, fresh-wise. He's figured out how to do it where it's just a couple of days old when we get this textured feed. The deer just love it, and service is unbelievable. That's all I can say. It's just unbelievable.
We hear a lot about that in the deer business, about people getting fresh feed and their deer liking it. That's a big deal. Is your deer have to eat the good feed that you're putting in front of them. How have your deer taken to the feed?
My deer, I just feed textured feed and alfalfa. We don't feed pellets year round. I mean, I give it to them every now and then. Right now, we're going back to pellets and sweet feed, trying to put the weight back on these does real quick. But my deer, I've used a lot of stuff, and my deer just love this stuff. My deer will eat 75 pounds a day.
Wow.
Pen of 10 does, sometimes they'll eat 100. And Leo can tell you that. That's a fact. My deer look better now than they ever have. And the issues that I used to have, we don't have them too much anymore, knock on wood. So, and I think a lot of it is the feed. I truly do.
Well, thank you for taking time to sit down with us.
You betcha.
Anything else you might want to add?
No, I can't think of anything. Just if you guys don't know Leo, you need to get in touch with him and talk to him about his feed. He's unbelievable, guys. I'm telling you right now.
There you go. Lynn, thank you very much for coming out.
Thank you.
Really appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
To talk a little bit, if you don't mind, about just the upcoming season. This is the reproductive season in deer right now. A lot of people are planning ahead. We had fawns drop just a couple of months ago, so you've got young deer. From your perspective, what do you see going out? What do you see is some advice you might give folks around this time of year?
Right now, you're right. Everybody's busy with fawns and the breeding. You know, everybody's weaning. We just weaned probably 2 weeks ago. So again, knowing what the program is doing, you know, some people want to got the breeding season coming up, or everybody does. So we're trying to up a little bit of the weight on the does because the fawns just came off. They're drawn down a little bit because of the babies. So we're trying to pick the fat up. So they'll say, hey, we want to put some weight on the does. So what we'll do is go in and say, okay, let's add some textures, you know, some buck developer to it, put a little texture because it's higher in fat, and try to get some weight on them. So it's kind of an individual, you know, depending on how the you know, what the program is doing. But we kind of take it, you know, ranch by ranch and figure out what they want, and then absolutely take care of you know, what they're doing. But we're the same boat because we've got deer. Just weaned our fawns, trying to put a little weight on the girls. So we're, you know, doing certain things to try to get weight up on them. So we might switch the feed up a little bit.
We hit a lot on kind of what we do in a breeder setting. Talk about what folks are doing in the pasture right now.
A lot of people, and it's funny because a lot of people are backing off on the protein because hunting season's coming up, and I've got ranches that don't. We feed year round. I mean, when I say year round, we feed year round. Everybody says, oh yeah, we feed year round, but they stop during hunting season. We don't. I just feel like if we're going to cut it off 30 days, our rut down here is traditionally the middle of December, and everybody tries to cut it off in mid-October and say, okay, we're not going to feed protein because we want the deer doing this or doing that. I just tend to believe that if we're going to cut them off for 30 days, 40 days, and again, this is just me, I don't think we should. So we feed year round. I mean, we never let the feeders go empty. We keep the protein out because they're coming out of the summer, and everybody's trying to get them up in the best body condition because they're going into the rut. But immediately following the rut is when they start putting the protein out, trying to get some weight back on because the deer are running hard. So I don't want that. I want to keep them up as much as I can so I don't stop feeding. So, like I said, some people do, some don't. But personally, we feed year round. We try to keep the body conditions out in the pasture just as up as we can throughout the whole year.
Talk a little bit about what you know, as many people know, it's been raining in South Texas for a while now. Talk a little bit about what the changing weather does to animals and how folks might be able to weather through that, maybe in additives or something like that to help them, or maybe doctoring deer, things like that, to kind of try to get them over this little slump we're in.
We on the breeder side, of course, you know, the weather hit a little earlier than what normally for down here, for everywhere really. You know, we had a little front a couple of weeks ago. Temperatures dropped down into the 40s for down here, which is really low, really cold. And then we had a lot of rain with it. We had 2 weeks of rain, and we had our yearly annual rainfall in about 4 days. So, and we were lucky. I mean, there was parts of Central Texas, as you well know, that just got hammered. But we did have a lot of rain. It was spread out over 2 weeks down here, and it makes it tough, not just to get around the feeding, getting in the pens, checking deer. You know, most of our customers hand feed, You know, they go in every day, and they do it because they want to see the deer. They want to see what the deer are doing. They want to be able to put eyes on the deer every day. So they go in every day, literally, and pour the feed into a trough to feed the deer. And it makes it real hard when it's raining day and night. So it did affect, you know, what we're doing. It did affect a lot of the breeders, you know, being able to get in and do that. This time of year, as far as additives, CTC, I don't, you know, some people do it because of the pneumonia, you know, and of course you got to get with your vet and, you know, take care of all that. But that's really the main thing right now because of the respiratory diseases that's going on with the rainfall and the cold weather. And the fawns are hit really hard because you're stressing them, pulling off of the mama, and then you throw in this weather, and it kind of tends to hurt them a little bit. So that's mainly what everybody's doing right now.
Sure. Talk a little bit. I'm going to try to change gears a little bit with you. As we came down 59, we pulled up, and you open the doors, and you're greeted with a smile, and you can tell Madison and Rosie and you really pride yourself on making people feel welcome as the customers walk in. The thing we also noticed is it's not just deer feed, right? There's horse bridles and rope and dummies for kids and everything from chickens to parakeets to pigs to goats. Talk a little bit about what you're trying to do here at the store, your long-term goal, maybe you could say.
Like I said, it's a full service, kind of an old school feed store. And it was like that when we got here, and we like it. I like it. I like to be able to walk. We keep a coffee pot going. The guys will come in, you know, the ranchers. We got a lot of ranchers in. This is ranching country. There's some big ranches around us, you know. And so they like to come in, get a cup of coffee, hang out, talk about the rain, talk about what the weather's doing, cattle prices, you know, and because we do service a lot of cattle people, you know. So we wanted to keep that atmosphere, and so it wasn't broken. We weren't trying to fix it. So we left everything like it was, and we do have pretty much anything you could think of. And when I first came in, because I'd come in and get deer feed and leave. You know, I need my protein and get this and get that. And when I first really, really got in and started looking around, I'd think, you know, why do you need that? I don't know why that's sitting on that shelf. And somebody sooner or later is going to walk in and say, hey, you got double-aught horseshoes? And we're like, yeah, we got them. You know, and we got people that drive from Hebbronville, from Laredo, and say we can't find them. You know, a lot of the feed stores don't do it anymore. They just carry the feed, basically. But we do carry, you know, the medicines and, you know, all the wormers and different stuff for all animals. I mean, and so we try to keep that atmosphere. I didn't want to change that, and we haven't. So we're hoping that, you know, that the local business, you know, we do service a lot of breeders and ranches, but the local people in town that have dogs and cats and, you know, any pet that they've got, we really want them to be able to walk in and say, hey, I need this or I need that, and we have it or we can get it. So that's kind of what we're doing. And you know, long term, you know, we're not a giant feed store, but we like that feel. You know, we like the feel of the small feed store, and it's family. You know, it's very much family oriented. So
well, you get that sense immediately upon walking through the door, and you know, a store like this just kind of reminds me that agriculture and wildlife in South Texas is alive and well. Seeing the customers come and transition in and out, and the trucks coming and going, it makes us feel good about the state of affairs down here in South Texas.
It is, and I'll tell you another thing. We're really tied into the FFA here locally. We're really involved with the Future Farmers group at the school, the 4-H. You know, the show stuff. They just had a show this weekend, a little show. We were out there. You know, we try to help any way we can with the feed. You know, get the kids in and try to, just like deer. Okay, well, what are you doing at this time? So what do we need? Same thing with the animals. You know, and so we try to help out. We try to go to the shows. We try to get really involved with the community. What's going on in town? What's going on with the kids? We love the kids, so we work real hard to tie in with what's going on, you know, at the school with the shows and the agriculture, because it is kind of going away. You know, there's not the family farm, you know, as you well know, but this is a rural community. You know, it's small town. We're not big, So there is a lot of ranching, a lot of farming, a lot of agriculture stuff, a lot of hunting. And so we try to tie into that and keep that going with these kids.
If you don't mind spending a few more minutes talking to me about that, at the Texas Deer Association, we're constantly educating folks that look, it is harder and harder to make a living out there and provide for your family in rural Texas. Talk a little bit about the importance of the wildlife and agricultural commodities down here, maybe economies of scale down here that allow this places like Freer to thrive and continue and move
huge.
On.
It's huge in these little towns. The hunting industry keeps us alive. We're in the middle of the oil field, and the oil field brings in a lot of revenue for this town, but the hunting industry is what we're known for. I mean, Freer was known for its big deer, and still is. I mean, I've been to shows all over the state. Somebody will ask where you're from, and you say Freer, and they'll say, "Oh yeah, we know where it's at. We hunted down there back in the '70s, back in the '80s, back in the early '90s." Everybody's been down here hunting at some point or another throughout their life, and it's really impacts the town financially because we have, of course, people coming in during the hunting season, and they tend to shop. They'll come in and we see it here. It sustains the store during the winter. This is the season everybody looks for. The hunting season, the fall. Not just us, the restaurants. You can go to the restaurants, and next weekend, and about 10:30 in the morning, 11 o'clock, you won't find a table because everybody's coming in and they're stopping by and seeing what everybody's killed. And they're going by the other places, checking on them, and it's really big here. I mean, it really makes a huge impact on our economy.
Leo, thank you for taking the time to talk with us today. It was a pleasure. We've had a lot of fun down here. We can't wait to come back. You've really put together a great team, and your store is phenomenal. I wish you all the best.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
You bet.